They'll be calling you a radical. We have so much to talk about as far as breaking news on the Fukushima dynamic. We have some great activists that have passed away, 2 of them. We have more heartbreak going on in California as far as the Pacific genocide, dying. It's pretty amazing that Monterey Bay, now the irony of all this, right now as this is happening at Monterey Bay, PBS, I believe, is going to debut tonight worldwide. They've put more money into this documentary, Koch brothers on BALCO. What haven't they infiltrated? They put more money into this thing than probably any documentary they've done. The comeback of Monterey Bay. Now, I talked to them when I was in Monterey Bay. You know, I walked the entire thing. As Monterey Bay is dying, the entire Pacific Ocean's dying, they're doing this giant production on the comeback of Monterey Bay. You cannot make this insanity up. So yesterday, Channel 10, which has interviewed me many times, Channel 10, Channel 8 in San Diego, and Lori shakes her head at me when I say this. I say, the only responsible local media in the country is San Diego. She says, oh, they're insane. I says, right, they don't, but at least that much. You know, I leaked the stuff to them about San Onofre. That's how we got San Onofre. The corruption going inside was, you know, at least they went with it. They reported yesterday in Monterey that the tuna crab, they're called, washing up all of, oh, it's just a warmer beach. But at the exact simultaneously, a few days ago, Monterey City comes out and posts, do not eat the sardines you're catching. Now, Donna can verify this. She was right there with me as the pink, you know, the famous pink guy walked right by us right there on the pier as people were fishing right there. The only healthy sea lions we found are underneath the pier, people feeding. And even they're dying from what I hear now. But, so, there were some people catching some sardines. I said, what are you catching? I always ask when I'm on the pier, oh, it's horrible, fishing's terrible, blah, blah. Because people fish like crazy down there. And I'm like, okay, what about the sardines? Well, catch a fish. I said, don't eat them. You know, Donna was standing right there. I says, don't eat them. And she says, why don't eat them? And I'm like, Fukushima. They didn't know what Fukushima was. What's Fukushima? The California's new state motto. You know, in Austria, they sure know what it is. They're anti-nuclear because of Chernobyl. We'll get to that. But, so, now it's been issued by Monterey City and Santa Cruz. Do not eat the sardines you're catching. Do not eat anything out of it. Now, they're listening to some, who knows what. But, oh, it's just the warming of the ocean. So the tuna crab, now, the photo that Channel 10 puts up and the video Channel 10, Lori I shot incredible videos at that exact, I mean, to the inch where they're standing. You know, last year, the year before, as we've been there fighting for these guys. San Diego media won't touch that. No. Protecting they won't even protect their own sailors, and they protect the admirals, which have turned into just like here in the Soviet Union. And it's all, I mean, didn't we see this before? Let's see, an economy that goes all in military, worships, the worship is the royalty, the admirals, the generals, Didn't they do that right here? They drew the line right here. I'm in Austria. Didn't they do the Soviet Union? By the way, I've been trying to get into Kiev. Now I'm dealing with some real great activists. By the way, that's really a picture of this guy. I got to tell you, he is awesome. But I've met some, so I'm dealing with some incredible activists, doing some great work with some really, and they're like, no, we've been in, you know, I mean, you ought to hear these stories. I'm talking to activists that snuck in to Dosma, which is the reactor that was taken by the rebels in Ukraine, right? These documentary films snuck in there. They says they've dug trenches around the road to keep the place out. He says they had explosive dynamite. You wouldn't believe what they had, ready to blow the thing. They snuck these guys in. These guys that I'm dealing with and I'm talking to physically have talked to these people. Been there. So one guy talked him out of blowing the thing. It's how dangerous. So I'm like, should I go? And they're like, no, it's too dangerous, Kev. It's too dangerous. You can't go. You know, they'll kill you. So, anyway, then we have the incredible activist, and I'll shoot another video in honor of her, Black Fox. Carrie Dickerson, This, now you can see where I come from as a boy in the 60s and 70s, anti-nuclear status, all these great activists. When I watched her at work when I was a boy. She was something else. Just a school teacher, by the way. That's all. Just a school teacher. Didn't they used to make the best activists? You know, the school teachers? I mean, you think back in our day, think about what the teachers were. Of course, they made 10 times what they make now. They were held in higher regard than any attorney was. They were amazing. She took on Black Fox. She used to stand on the podium, do the rallies in Oklahoma, and scream and yell, if you either don't stop Black Fox, you don't even make Black Fox dead, we are going to kill Black Fox. Which was a nuclear, they try, and she was intense. She was awesome. She was incredible. Oh yeah, and they stopped Black Fox. Oh boy, did they stop it. So she passed away. We're losing all our great old activists. Then, of course, Igor, which I talked to some activists yesterday. They didn't know he died. In fact, the people holding the camera yesterday, as we did that in honor, they says, we just met, we just talked to him just a few months ago. We shook his hand, he autographed his book, whatever. Remember, I want people to very much know about Igor. He had no permission to go in there. And it was another activist, the activists then that were fighting. I mean, I think back to the activists even then, how brave were they? How grand were they? How great were they? So they go in, this activist, isn't that what good journalists do? And that's what he was, a photographer journalist. I mean, you know, that's kind of what I've done somewhat, more of the artist, but you develop your sources. Oh, do I have sources? Oh, I have the best. And it took me a long time to weed out, but I know who the best is. Janet, Shane, all these people, oh, the best. Intense on BALCO. So this guy called him and he says, hey, this isn't just some normal little fire at a reactor, which happened a lot. So they got a helicopter, he got in it, they went over there and took the pictures. And I mean, their intuitive sense. The activist flew off his intuitive sense to go in there, and then off his tree says, I got a hunch this is bad, let's get out. So they got out, he went back to develop the film, and of course, none of it developed. You know, one photograph. The Soviet Union's not about to let him put that up. So they did it anyway. They broke, I mean, that's the kind of people we had in this, you know. Snowden, you know, Bradley Manning, Chelsea Manning. They were just journalists. They did what people did for years, Morrow, rather, all these guys did. Now they jail them. Now they kill them. Now they, I mean, it's fascism on BALCO. You know, I'm standing down the streets here in Austria. Oh, they marched right down this street. Right down this street. Right around the corner. I can show you the plaques. Right where they crashed into their businesses and houses and drug them out and gassed them to death. Right here. Let me tell you, Austrians get it. They're so anti-nuclear. It's amazing how the IAEA is here, but they're aware. Oh, they're awake. Oh, they're awake. But I'm getting reports now, and I've told this a few times before on this vlog, that I know 4 different artists in California, photographers, old school photographers, and none of them know each other. None of them know each other. And some of the best in the world. They says in their photography across the Pacific Ocean, over the last couple of years, they're starting to see, when they go into the dark room and develop, because they're old school, they are seeing this pinkish platinum, and they're experimenting with digital, with old school, whatever, and they're picking it up. Gino says they're even picking it up on the trees in the landscape now in the Central Valley. And I was down there, and I cannot overstate as I walked along Monterey Bay. I slept under the bridges. You know, the movie McFarlane's a masterpiece, by the way, but, you know, it came out, I lived McFarlane pretty well my whole life. Oh, I pickered. I grew up as a picker. I grew up freaking picking tomatoes and freaking with a hoe in my hand on that landscape. I grew up on a big agricultural farm, branch, tomatoes, sugar beets, I mean, all of it. And we worked. We had long hair and we drank like, we were wild. But the exploitation, that's Monterey Bay. That's Monterey Bay. Moss Landing's gone. You go to Moss Landing. So these people are saying, oh, they come back at Monterey Bay. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Go to Moss Landing. The marshes are gone. There's no muskrats. There's no freaking blue herons. There's no snowy ingreds. There's no nothing. There's no starfish. You know, they feed at the aquarium. And I talked to the main biologist at the aquarium. Starving to death mama sea lions. Starving to death grays. Grays giving birth at Carmel by the sea, right where I was at. I was seeing it with my own eyes. Where'd you sleep last night, Kev? I slept in the dead fucking pines where the sun always shines. Literally, I slept in the dead fucking pines where the sun... Right there on Monterey Bay. They're dying. They're cutting them down as fast. They go in there, the rangers, they go and pick up all this stuff off the beach as fast as they can. I witnessed it. They go in at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They go in there, pick up the Fukushima debris, and they got gear on, and they've been told to wear gear. Pick up the tar balls that are toxic. Pick up the dead animals, you know. 5 dead garfish. That's a once in a lifetime, huh? Now I know for a fact there's at least 5. Dead whales, 3 dead sperm whales, dead orcas. That's unheard of. Dead sperm whales and orcas. We've had gray outbreaks, but never. It's unheard of. Now, this, oh, it's just here. So it's tourist season down there. So, you know, you go down there. My daughters were down there. I'm like, don't you dare let them at that beach, you know, and that's my grandchildren. You take that away. So I swam, you know, the new bikini. I swam in front of the IA. Who can do that? Who can do it? And you know how the bikini was named. You do know how the bikini was named. You know, which is probably the most sexy piece of clothing in history. He was searching for a name in this part of the world. He came up with it. Oh, the bikini atoll. So now I invented that one. You know, that's the new bikini right there. The new Fukushima bikini. And you've seen how sexy that is on an old shot guy like me. But in order to wear the bikini, you have to have tattoos up you, which I have, radiation tattoos, so they line you up for it. You have to have scarring all over your body from the chemo burning. You have to have scarring here where the chemo burns through the top of your head. You have to have a Fukushima fish hook going into your jugular vein. You have to have scarring in the corners of your eyes. You have to have chemo brain. The bottom of your feet have to have burns from the chemo coming through. And it destroys your body. Absolutely destroys your body. Destroys your body. You know, you can put up those pictures before I got Fukushima. You know what kind of tremendous physical condition I was in? I was ripped from head to toe. I mean, even the doctor's like, oh my God, I've never seen a guy like you at your age with a 6-pack. And I'm in good shape, and I work, you know, I do all the great working, but it tore me apart. It's torn my body apart, you know, and I've kept the mind going physically and the intensity in the walk, but I'll get lots of great videos. But this is heartbreaking, you know, the irony. As PBS says, the comeback as it's trying. Up is down, black is white, you know, green is red, you know. Marching down the military right here. Right here. Remember that? Right here. Right here. Right here. Remember that? Now they do it in the United States all day, every day. As we fought, we defended. You know, the Russians fought, they defended. You know, his house is right there, right around the corner. Hitler's little place is right around the corner. By the way, Austrians are awesome. This is an amazing, amazing place. And I don't know anybody. Wow. I'll tell you what, you ain't seen women till you've seen these women. These are strong, they're amazing. Well, it's an amazing place with the socially conscious. You know, really an amazing place. So, stand tuned. I'll put up another video in honor of we're gonna kill Black Fox, and she did. Just that school teacher, just that school teacher. Kind of like Madeline Rice, just that school teacher. You know, all those great school teachers, that's all. Walt Stegner, my school teacher. Edward Abbey, just my school teacher, that's all, that's all. That's all those great teachers that I learned. What happened to everybody that was sitting around me? Where'd you learn all that great activism, Kevin? Where'd you learn it? Sitting right next to you. What happened to you? I didn't buy into the popism Kool-Aid. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Stand tuned.